Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday Card Chronicles episode. I have no idea. It's probably at the bottom. Wait, I stopped counting episodes. I don't think I put the episode number. So if you don't get these things in chronological order and just look at the dates, it doesn't matter. I'm not talking about anything current. Like I'm talking about current events or whatever. So anyway, on today's episode of Card Chronicles, we're gonna get really vulnerable and transparent about something I've been going through probably for the past couple of years. I'm gonna say the past couple of years. I've been going through an mental and emotional growth process. And it's been hard. It's been rough. Let me give you a little background. When I was 15 years old, my mother died. My mother died. She had been sick for a long time and she died. I always was a happy-go-lucky kid or whatever. But I think at that moment, after my mother died, I think mentally and emotionally, I stopped maturing. I stopped maturing. I created this little bubble. I created this land in my head where everything was utopian and everything was hunky-dory and everything, life was good and everything always worked out fine. Life was just amazing. And when things didn't happen that way, emotionally, it was extreme to how I felt. Emotionally, I couldn't handle it. Mentally, I couldn't handle it. And there were always some kind of extreme emotional breakdown or whatever. But I always kept this spirit of seeing things for the good, seeing things through a very, very naive, childlike perspective, because I was still in my head. I'm still 15. And so, when you're younger, you have this childlike perspective of rainbows and sunshine and candy canes and lollipops and stuff, and everything. You see the world as Candyland. It's beautiful because all you have is what you don't know of, and every experience is new and every experience is fresh because child eyes. And so that also caused me to go into this social bubble. Well, unsocial bubble, if I want to say that. I hang out with friends, whatever, but still not being very social with them, just being in their presence. And then when I moved away to Vegas, I lived there for 8 years. I was really in a social bubble. I didn't go out. I didn't hang out. It was just me and my kids, whatever. So I kept going further and further into a cave, further and further socially into a cave, to where that's just where I stayed. I was content in that cave. And then somewhere along that way, my sister introduced me to like Facebook groups. And so in those Facebook groups, I'd be able to, be more social and be more talking to adults and making more connections or whatever. But in that, I found that this world that I had created in my head, this utopian, happy-go-lucky world, it wasn't real. But I still stayed in my bubble, my bubble, but wasn't quite understanding the way of adulting and adult thinking and adult behavior and adult emotions and adult mentality. And I'm seeing all these interactions still from my childlike perspective. But then as I got in recent years, and even more currently, I ventured out to actually, being with people and meeting with people and being more social with people. And as my eyes begin to open, I've started to experience growing pains. We're familiar with growing pains as we get, when you're growing up and your legs start hurting because your bones are stretching and everything. My emotions were stretching, my mentality is stretching, my eyesight was stretching, and I'm seeing things that I'm not used to, and I'm experiencing things that I'm not used to, And what happened was, and what's I'm just now being pulled out of, is that I was becoming untrusting. I was becoming bitter. I was becoming angry because I saw a world from adult eyes. And when you see a world from adult eyes, and it's a quick turn from seeing the world from childlike eyes and being an adult and knowing what that is, and not being because a lot of times we experience that as a child, and it's easier to get through because children are so resilient. And when you cross that threshold from adulthood from childhood to adulthood, you also usually have like older people to walk you across that threshold. But when you cross that threshold as an adult, and you start experiencing things, and you start seeing things, and you start seeing things for what they are and not what you think about what they are in their head, it hurts because it hits you hard. And I know a lot of people may not have experienced what I've experienced, because a lot of people, I lived in a delusional world. I would say a delusional. It may have been even to the point of a mental illness delusional. And so as I ventured into seeing the world for what it is and seeing people for what they are, I started seeing the bad side of people. Because I've always been, this is a good side of people, and people have good intent. I started seeing the bad intent. I started seeing the bad motives. I like I said, I became a person who trusted barely anybody. If you weren't in my inner circle, inner period circle, my husband calls it a period. If you weren't part of my period, I didn't trust you. I didn't trust people's motives. I didn't trust what they said. And it causes bitterness, and you see it in some people. Some people get to that bitterness and that angriness and that hurtfulness, and they just stay in there and just live in there. And I was inching like to where I just want to stay in that bitterness and live. I think we have a random thoughts post in a group that I'm in, and I posted that I was just going to be in this season of bitterness, and just stay there, just be there, because that's where that's where I wanted to be, because I wasn't seeing life as a child anymore. And it's hard that we have to lose that part of us in order to grow and be an adult, because you have to protect yourself from what's out there in adult world, and you can't see that as a child, because you have to be strong and you have to grow and you have to know what's going on around you. But one thing that I have to keep telling myself, I have to continue to be the Jeanette that I love, and the Jeanette that I know that people love about me. I have to continue to be the optimist. I have to continue to be the idealist, because that's me. That's a part of me. That is the core of me. And so I'm going to continue to be me. And I'm going to get out of this season of bitterness right now. I mean, I got out of it last night because I prayed about it, and I want God to keep me being this loving and caring and optimistic me. I may not see the world anymore through childlike eyes, but I'm going to see it through loving and caring and beautiful eyes. The world is still a beautiful place because I'm in it, and I'm going to make my world that way. I love you guys, and I'll see you Friday. Thank you for listening. Bye.